They captured a human medic. They thought they had just taken the weakest human on the battlefield. They couldn't have been more wrong. The alien commander gave one order: keep the human alive. Not because they cared about him. Because they wanted to learn how humans survived wounds that should have killed them. Pause. But during the interrogation, the medic noticed something their entire military had missed. Their soldiers weren't dying from enemy weapons. They were dying from something much worse. And once the human figured out what he was, the aliens realized they had brought their biggest threat directly into their own fortress. Before we get into it, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. And if you love HFY stories where humans make the galaxy regret underestimating them, hit subscribe. Because trust me, it gets crazier. The battlefield had been silent for 6 minutes. That was what scared Lieutenant Korran. 6 minutes. No gunfire. No explosions.
No screaming. Just smoke drifting across the broken surface of Kilo 9. Korran stood behind the armored glass of his command carrier, watching the ruins below. His species had conquered 37 worlds.
They had fought creatures with 6 limbs, machines that could survive inside stars, predators that hunted entire colonies.
Humans were supposed to be easy, weak, short-lived, primitive. That was the official military assessment. Then Korran saw the human. One figure walking through the smoke. No rifle. No armor. No squad. Just a battered medical bag hanging from one shoulder.
Korran narrowed his eyes. That's a medic. The officer beside him nodded. Human. Korran smiled. Capture him. The order was simple. 3 soldiers moved toward the human. The medic didn't run. He didn't fight. He simply raised both hands. I'm a doctor, he said through his translator. The soldiers surrounded him. Korran watched from the command carrier. He expected fear.
Instead, the human looked at the dead soldiers around him, then at the alien soldiers pointing weapons at his head, and finally at Korran's carrier. He sighed.
You're making a mistake. Korran left. You're in no position to give orders. The human looked directly at him. I wasn't giving you an order. Pause. I was warning you. His name was Elias Ward. 34 years old. Human military medic.
6 years of combat experience.
No confirmed kills. At least, that's what the alien database said. They brought Elias into a containment room. The room was designed for dangerous prisoners.
Reinforced walls.
Automated weapons. 4 cameras. A chemical restraint system. The aliens had prepared for a warrior. They didn't prepare for a doctor.
Korran entered the room. 2 guards followed. Elias sat calmly at the table. His hands were restrained. His medical bag was gone. Korran placed a device on the table. Human Elias Ward. Elias looked up. That's me. You served with the Human Expeditionary Force.
Yep. You understand that your planet has lost this battle. Elias shrugged. Depends what you mean by lost. Korran leaned forward. You are a prisoner. Correct. Your army has been defeated. Not exactly. Korran's eyes narrowed. What does that mean? Elias smiled. It means you're talking to the wrong guy. Korran slammed his hand against the table. You will answer my questions.
Elias stared at him. Then his expression changed. The smile disappeared. Before I answer anything.
He looked toward the guard standing behind Korran. How long has he been sick? The room went silent. Korran turned. What? Elias nodded toward the guard. The one on your left. The guard stiffened. Elias continued. He's breathing too fast. The guard looked confused. You've got blood under your collar.
Korran looked at him. There was indeed a tiny dark stain beneath the armor. Elias leaned back.
Internal bleeding. The guard suddenly dropped to one knee. Korran froze. Medic. Elias smiled. Now you're listening. The guard was dying. Elias knew it. Korran knew it. The medical scanners didn't. They showed nothing. No organ failure. No visible trauma. No toxin. Nothing.
Korran stared at the screen. Our technology says he's stable. Elias shook his head. Your technology is looking for the wrong thing. What thing? Pressure. Korran frowned. Elias pointed at the guard. His blood pressure is collapsing. The alien medic looked at the scanner. Impossible.
Elias looked at him. That's usually what people say right before someone dies. Pause.
Korran ordered the restraints removed. Elias immediately went to work. He cut through the alien's armor. Applied pressure. Inserted a needle. Adjusted the oxygen flow.
Then he did something nobody in the room understood. He used his bare hands. 30 seconds later, the guard's breathing stabilized. The alien medic stared. How? Elias didn't answer. He was looking at the scanner. His expression had changed. How many of your soldiers have shown these symptoms? Korran hesitated. That's classified. Elias looked up. Then you're already in trouble. Elias was taken to the medical wing. Not as a prisoner this time. As a consultant. That was Korran's second mistake, because Elias started asking questions. How many soldiers were sick? How quickly did symptoms appear? What planets had they visited? What food had they consumed? What atmospheric systems had they used? And most importantly, how many soldiers had died? The answer was over 800. Elias stared at the number. 800. Korran nodded. Over the last 12 days. Elias slowly stood. Then it's not an injury problem. What is it? Elias looked at the ventilation system. I don't know yet. He walked toward the wall. Put his hand against it. Then stopped. Turn off the air. Korran stared. Why? Because whatever is killing your people. Elias looked back at him. They're breathing it. The entire fortress went into emergency lockdown. Air systems shut down. Soldiers put on masks. Elias examined samples from the ventilation system. No bacteria. No virus.
No poison. No radiation.
Nothing. Korran became impatient. You said it was in the air. I said I thought it was. You were wrong. Elias shook his head. No. He held up a small sample container. I was close. Inside was a microscopic layer of crystalline material.
Korran's scientists examined it. They found nothing. Then Elias asked one question. Where did your fleet refuel before coming here? Korran answered. 3 systems away. Which system?
Vera. Elias went completely still. That's impossible. What? Elias looked at the sample. Then at Korran. Humans were there 6 months ago. Korran's face changed. What did you do there? Elias didn't answer. Because suddenly, he understood. The humans hadn't been attacked. They hadn't been infected.
They had encountered the same organism. And they had already learned how to survive it. Korran demanded answers. What is it? Elias finally told him. Not a disease.
Then what? A biological defense mechanism. Korran stared at him. Whose? Elias looked through the glass at the dying soldiers. The planets. Pause. The organism wasn't attacking the aliens. It was reacting to them. Their species had a biological compound in their bloodstream that triggered the organism. Humans didn't have it. So humans could walk through the environment safely. But the aliens couldn't. Korran's military had unknowingly transported the organism across several worlds. Every time they landed, the infection spread. Every time they invaded, more soldiers became exposed.
Korran whispered. How did humans know? Elias looked at him. Because we made the same mistake.
Korran froze. You've encountered this before? Yes. And you survived? Elias nodded. Some of us. That was when Korran realized something terrifying. Humans hadn't sent their best soldiers to this battlefield. They had sent medics, scientists,
engineers, people who had already studied the enemy. Korran ordered Elias to produce the human treatment. Elias refused.
Korran threatened him. Elias didn't move. You don't understand, Korran said. Your soldiers are dying. I know. And you have the cure. No. Korran's eyes narrowed. You just said humans survived. We developed resistance. Then give us the treatment. Elias shook his head. There's no treatment. Silence.
The only way to stop it is to stop spreading it. Korran stared at him. Meaning? Leave the planet.
Korran left. That's impossible. Elias looked at him. Then your people die.
Korran grabbed him by the collar. You expect me to abandon an entire military campaign because of a microscopic organism? Elias didn't flinch. No. He looked directly into Korran's eyes. I expect you to understand that the campaign already ended. 3 hours later, the fortress began failing. Not from an attack. From inside.
Soldiers collapsed in hallways.
Medical teams became overwhelmed. The ventilation system was contaminated. The water systems were contaminated. Even the armor filters were beginning to fail.
Korran ordered evacuation. But the ships wouldn't launch. Their engines had been contaminated too. Elias watched the chaos from the medical wing.
Then someone screamed. Enemy attack! Korran ran to the command room. Screens showed hundreds of human ships approaching. Korran stared. How did they get here? Elias entered behind him. You called them. Korran turned. What? Elias pointed toward the communications console. When you captured me. Korran remembered. The interrogation room. The translator. The medical scanner. The system had been connected to the fortress network. Elias had used it. Not to send a distress signal.
Something more subtle. A medical data packet. Buried inside a routine transmission. The humans knew exactly where he was. Korran's face went pale. You planned this. Elias shook his head. No. Then what was the warning? Elias looked through the window. That was me giving you a chance. The human fleet surrounded the fortress. But they didn't fire. That confused Korran. He expected weapons. Instead, hundreds of medical ships arrived. Korran stared at the screens. What are they doing? Elias smiled. Saving your people. Korran looked at him. After we captured you? Yes. After we attacked your planet? Yes. After we killed your soldiers? Elias looked down. We're humans. Korran didn't understand. Elias continued. We don't save people because they deserve it. We save them because they're dying. Pause.
And that's the part of humanity your intelligence reports never understood.
Human medical teams entered the fortress. They didn't carry rifles. They carried equipment. Oxygen tanks, medicine, emergency scanners, portable filtration systems. They treated alien soldiers. One by one. Thousands. Korran watched his enemy save his army. Then he looked at Elias. You could have killed us. Elias nodded. Yes. Why didn't you? Elias took a breath. Because I'm a medic. Korran looked confused.
That's it? That's enough. Then the fortress shook. A warning appeared on the command screen. Biological containment failure. Elias immediately turned. How long? 4 minutes. Elias grabbed his medical bag. Korran followed. What are you doing? Going back in. That's suicide. Elias stopped. Looked at him. Probably. Then why? Elias smiled. Because there are still people inside. Elias entered the contaminated sector alone. No armor. No weapons.
Just a medical mask. He found 37 alien soldiers trapped inside. The door was jammed. Elias opened it manually. One by one, he pulled them out. 10. 20. 30. Then the alarm changed. 1 minute remaining.
Elias looked around. One alien was still missing. A child. The commander's daughter.
Korran's daughter. Elias heard her crying somewhere inside. He turned back. The human evacuation team shouted at him. Elias, get out. He didn't. He ran deeper into the facility.
Pause.
Korran watched from the security monitor. Elias. The screen disappeared into static. 10 seconds. 9. 8. 7. Korran closed his eyes. 3. 2. 1. The containment doors slammed shut. Silence. Then, the door opened. Elias walked out, carrying the child. Alive. Korran couldn't speak. Elias handed her over. The little girl looked at him. "Why did you save me?" Elias crouched down. "Because somebody had to." Weeks later, the war changed. Not because humanity had destroyed the alien empire. They didn't need to. The story spread across the galaxy. The humans had captured worlds. Yes. They had won battles. Yes. But what terrified the galaxy wasn't their weapons. It was their medics.
Because every civilization had warriors. Every civilization had generals. Every civilization had weapons. But humans had something different. They would walk into hell just to pull an enemy out. And the aliens finally understood the truth. The human they had captured wasn't their weakest prisoner. He was the one person in the entire fortress who had refused to let them die. Pause.
His name was Elias Ward. Human military medic. 0 confirmed kills. But after Kila 9, millions of aliens knew his name. And whenever someone asked Korran what humanity's greatest weapon was, he always gave the same answer. Compassion. Then he would pause. And the terrifying part is that humans don't seem to run out of it. The galaxy thought humans were dangerous because they knew how to fight. They were wrong. Humans were dangerous because even after everything, they still chose to save people. And sometimes, the most terrifying thing a civilization can face is an enemy that refuses to become cruel. If you enjoyed this HFY story, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. Would you trust a human medic after capturing him? And if you want another story where the galaxy makes the mistake of underestimating humanity, that video on your screen right now is exactly what you want, because they haven't learned their lesson yet.